Very good morning to everybody at this very early part of the day. And it's nice to see so many of you here. As I said, not every day do we get large number of people coming out fairly early in the morning. Our keynote speaker, Professor Vijay Kumar, who is from MIT, as you've heard, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research and International, and also acting Deputy Vice Chancellor, Learning and Teaching, the office that organizes the Vice Chancellor's Learning and Teaching Forum, members of the senior management team. I want to also acknowledge the Executive Chair of the Fiji Higher Education Commission, Dr. Richard Waugh. Also acknowledge our colleagues from Fiji National University and University of Fiji. Acknowledge in particular our deans and heads of schools who have responsibility close to the coalface for learning and teaching. Acknowledge all the staff and our students. I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to you, Professor Kumar. It is a distinct honor for us to have you present to us this morning. And those of you who would have read about Professor Kumar would know that he's really at the cutting edge of learning and teaching, innovation, analytics, and really very much about what I will say are some of the transformational objectives of our strategic plan. And I know that he's been extremely busy, so it's really, you've done us a great honor, Vijay, by being with us. MIT, of course, many of you would have heard about MIT. MIT is always been at the cutting edge of educational innovation. And I think when we began this in 2008, we were talking about the very bold step that MIT took to make available to the rest of humanity all of its courses, just like that, part of its contribution to global development. And from a conversation that I have had with Professor Kumar, it seems like MIT is in the process of remaking itself or transforming itself even further. So you can imagine an institution that was already in the forefront of many of those, really making a very, very big commitment to transforming itself for the new digital opportunities and the new learning opportunities. And I think for us, therefore, this is not just an opportunity this morning to hear from him, because he's been in the forefront himself as an innovator and a doer, but I hope also in developing a network and a connection, because we will definitely gain a lot from exploring some of those connections. So this is extremely good that we've got him to speak today. I think John talked about an address. I'm not going to give an address. In 2008, I went to University of Melbourne. But I went to Melbourne and found out that the University of Melbourne had a Vice Chancellor's Learning and Teaching Forum, which was sort of compulsory for their staff to come. And they had that day when they did the sort of thing that we are doing. And when I thought about it, I thought that UST would benefit from that. In the initial stages, I did present an address because we really had lots of things to drive. Now, I think the system has got underway. There is a lot of traction. And this morning, when I see the large number of people here early in the morning, what it tells me is that the system has now the ability to go on, and we have people of the caliber of Professor Kumar speaking. So I'm not going to give an address from that point of view, but I just want to say a few things. just some notes. And I want to start by saying that the event today really relates to two things, specifically from the strategic plan. And as many of you who know me well know that I'm really trying to get everybody to read the strategic plan and to take the initiatives that are in the strategic plan forward. And so the most important element for us is objective 1 on page 23, which says that in the area of learning and teaching, we want to transform USP's pedagogy and curriculum. And when we are looking at USP at a glance in 2018, which was an attempt to say, if we do all the things that we have set out to do, what will USP look like in 2018 when we all celebrate our 50th anniversary? And one of that is saying that USP will be internationally recognized as the region's knowledge hub and as one of the world's leading universities in flexible and technology-supported learning. So I think that those things are the moonshots for us. And those things are the things that have been driving us in our thinking. And last year, we had David Cormier speak about the new learner towards the pedagogy of abundance within the theme of transformative pedagogy. So this year we have a nice build-up in the way of reinforcing those very major aspirations of innovation and transformation and taking advantage of abundant opportunities that come largely from open education materials and openness among very, very well-known universities to make available a lot of materials for the benefit of everybody. So we have Professor Kumar speaking about opening up new insights for educational innovation and opportunity. And I think that this will reinforce. It's very important that when you're driving really significant change, the risk always is to feel happy about a small thing. Okay? It's not really very good if we feel happy because we have just moved, we're not as bad as we were, or we have become good. This is not about that. This is really about a total transformation. That's why I think we should read a lot more about institutions that are really saying to themselves, we are going to remake ourselves, and we're going to be bold, and we will take hold of the opportunities that are there, and we'll make the sacrifices and the changes that are needed. So I think that within that, we have become a lot more concerned. We have been concerned about a long time, but I think we are able to do something about it now. We're a lot more concerned about institutional research and knowing ourselves. Institutional research has been around for a long time. We haven't done enough, and when we have done some research, the institution hasn't shared and learned from that. In the past, we have talked about a learning institution. And by and large, universities are institutions of learning, but they haven't become learning institutions, learning from their own work. So I think this focus on learning design and learning analytics is very important to us, because we want to really see the efficacy of the various designs and the various delivery modes of learning. And for the university, it's very important also to demonstrate how it understands the Pacific students better than other universities. We feel we do, but we have done very little work in terms of trying to see how do our students learn. And how do they learn best? Because they may well be learning. Some learning takes place. But is some learning enough? It's not. What you really want is to say you've got the learning opportunity. What is your best method of ensuring the best and most effective and efficient learning outcome? So I think this whole issue of big data, analytics, and feeding all of that to inform everything we do is very important. And as we experiment, as we must, it's very important that that practice be accompanied by learning about how that is going. So I think part of what we see today will be a reinforcement, we hope, of some of those very basic things that we need to get a very good handle on. Okay? You will have heard me say many times that these occasions are very important because we must simultaneously learn from the rest of the world what they're doing and adopt and adapt as appropriate. But we must also showcase what we ourselves are doing, because we do that in pocket. And so this forum is really that combined opportunity of dialogue, interaction, and I think if we keep on focusing on transformational change, we focus on innovation, taking advantage of new opportunities in measuring what we do, and feedback that must be a constant part of what we do every day. So I hope very much that you will have a good opportunity to all of us. I look forward to the presentation to learn from one of the best people and the experience of one of the leaders, the absolute leaders in new generation 21st century learning. I'm also very glad that we are seeing this increasingly as a partnership between students and staff. Learning is about the students, and the students need to be an integral part of that. And I'd like to thank the student leaders very much, because at USP we have managed actually to get the student leaders all very excited about what the university is trying to do. And they are very constructive about it. And I think it's very important to hear the student voice as much as we hear the staff voice. Because at the end of the day, this is a USP family of all of the key stakeholders. So I'm very pleased to see all of you. I'm very pleased to see probably the largest number. When I see this number, I grow more and more confident that, you know, the initial stages, I remember the first one, I think people were very skeptical about what the university is trying to do, and many people didn't give us much chance of success. Now we have champions. This is not being driven anymore by the Vice Chancellor or his team. It is now taking traction. And we have particularly younger group of people, I think, who are championing that. And that is our intention, to really empower and reward and facilitate this very momentous change. Now, having said something good about the young people, which we must, I do go back to what John said. All of us can learn and can surprise ourselves. So this is really not just for young people to do things. I think some of the older ones, we can also contribute. But thank you very much. Really good to see everybody here, and I wish you all the best. I do apologize in advance. I have to go to Solomon Islands for graduation, so I'll just stay here for the keynote and the proceedings leading up to tea, but then I must go. Thank you very much.